All right, it is Friday, as my kids call it. Friday, February 25th. We're playing musical chairs here on the Automotive Troublemaker. I've got Patrick Abad, one of the coolest dealers. Let's go.
The people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare when they see me. If it's once, no need to repeat. Run up on me, watch you fall to your knees.
All right, so for all of you regulars, you're like, man, musical chairs this week. We've had Paul, then Michael Cirillo, then Paul, then Michael Cirillo. And today I have the wonderful pleasure of inviting a friend that I made over Clubhouse first. And then we got to visit his dealership and see what he's doing. And we'll probably have some announcements next week to share with you. But this is Patrick Abad. Patrick, welcome to the pod, man.
What's up, dude? Good morning.
So Patrick is the general manager and of Beaver Toyota in Cumming, Georgia, just north of Atlanta, and just has an incredible dealership. If you're ever anywhere in the Atlanta area, the 30-minute drive just north to Beaver Toyota and Cumming is worth it just to go sit in the leather chairs. At a minimum, but to see the store and the operations if you're in the dealership world, and I know that Patrick and his whole team is extremely hospitable. So really good to have you on this morning. We're going to talk a little news, a little bit dealership, and go at that. And interestingly enough, like Patrick was one of the first people that when we told him about the pod, you've been listening to this thing for a long time on a daily basis. Is that right?
I do, man. I love it. I think it's, I think you guys, it rocks because it's just a very small window of the day. But, I think you guys do a wonderful job, and not just me, but I have my team watch it too. So
it's awesome. Well, so this is really cool. I got an email this morning. We just passed 7,000 podcast downloads, which is really fun.
Congratulations.
So it's little like those little milestones, right? And I know one day we'll be looking back going 7,000. Not a problem.
Yeah, that was cute. 7,000 was cute, right?
That was cute, exactly. Just a couple things, just for our crew. We're headed up to NADA here soon, and just wanted to let everyone know that if you're a company or a dealer, or you're doing something really special or engaging, especially collaborating, we want to talk to you. We want to be a part of that, and we're bringing a whole crew. We've got videographers and audio people and writers on staff. Just to help out and share what's going on, be the talk of the talk of the town, the man on the street and women on the street of NADA to share with, whether you're there or not able to be there. We're going to be there doing that. And also we got a couple really fun emails this morning, like replies to our daily email, and just know we read those, we respond to those. A lot of times, like you'll get an extra gift if you respond to those with something fun. So if you're a reader of the email and if you subscribe to the email, don't hesitate to, shoot us something back, an encouraging word or something like that. But enough of that. Yesterday, it was announced, Patrick, that Carvana or Car Global, their ownership company, went in and acquired ADESA for a whopping $2.2 billion. Dollars, right? So especially when you think about like the move to private party purchasing, but it seems like wholesale auctions still are a thing. And this is my kind of, and I'd love to get your take on this, but when I start thinking about Carvana, right, we've been talking about this in the industry of like this industry disruptor, the barbarian at the gate, the one that's kind of challenging the way that dealerships are engaged with. Recently, over the last 6 months, they've started housing dealership inventory, and now they own one of the largest auction houses that franchise dealerships use every day.
Yeah.
What do you think that has an impact on the relationship of ADESA with the franchise dealer, and what does the dealer do about that data sharing or the access to inventory?
Well, listen, obviously since they announced it yesterday, the talk in the industry has been like, what are they doing? Where are they going? What are they trying to do? I mean, I've heard it for the last 24 hours, but, I say yes, they're doing it all. I think there's a lot of smart people who are trying to make some decisions, whatever problems they've had, whatever they've gone through, the things that they're missing out on. I think they're trying to fix it with an acquisition like this. But the truth is as a dealer, there's no doubt they've been a disruptor in our industry. I mean, anybody who denies it is like living under a rock, right? They've
Right.
been an absolute disruptor. I know people still deny it. Like, yeah, they're going away. Like
It's
people say they're going,
2%. They're
they're
going
not
away.
going
They're
away.
not profitable.
I
Yeah.
swear I heard they were going away this week. Like, oh, they're go. That's it. They're done. Yeah, no, they just made a $2.2 billion acquisition. No,
Right.
they're not going away. But as a dealer, I really think this is just my opinion. But as a dealer, I think I welcome what they're doing. You know why? We as dealers, a lot of dealers have gotten better from
That's
the
right.
point when they became a disruptor. I think that's what disruptors do. They challenge you to get better. We were talking the other day, and I think it was in Clubhouse, that every time somebody comes and challenges us in this industry, dealers get better and they're
Right.
stronger at the end of it. And there's probably a lot of people right now who are given better customer experiences because Carvana came into the business, right? And whatever they are going to do, whether it's fix their tag and title issues or whether they're going to, have an infrastructure for reconditioning, whatever they're going to do to elevate their game, that the dealers just need to go and elevate theirs even more. That's
Right.
kind of the play I see with it.
No, I absolutely agree with that, and I think that happens in any market, in any vertical, right? And even just to look a little bit more upstream at OEMs, right? If Tesla, right? I think about this. In 2011, I was a Leaf certified salesperson, one of two at the Nissan dealership I was at, right? And at that point, Tesla non-existent, right? Not even a talk on the market, right? But kind of the OEMs were a little bit slow, kind of tiptoed into EV. The Chevy Bolt came out, but then all of a sudden Tesla comes in and challenges everything. Well, now, 9-10 years later, we're talking about, Stellantis and Ford and all of these companies saying, no, we're going to get this right. And we're going to get it right really quick. And interestingly enough, the sell-through rate and the ability to be, the network, having the dealer network, having the customer base, having the data points, right, is actually accelerating them as SaaS companies. So if you take that model and say, if dealers take that same intense approach at actually not just meeting Carvana where it's at, but exceeding it. Actually, I was writing, I can't remember exactly what I was writing a couple days ago, but essentially, like, the human element of the dealership is actually the general franchise retail's opportunity at exceeding a unique selling proposition on Carvana or Vroom or anything like that. It's franchise retail's ability to do that. Actually, I would say that if a dealer is promoting anything from any sort of like customer engagement or video or social platform, right? Just talking about how you can buy online, talking about how you can do all that stuff without including the human element is the major mistake potentially.
Yes. Yeah, the
right?
human element that is your competitive edge. It really is.
Bingo.
But it better be right. Like, you can't go and promote it and then it be sloppy and messy. And you better be, your game better be tight if you're going to promote it. And I think that's the part. That's the part where the good dealers are going to elevate through this whole thing. So no, I think you're dead on, Kyle. I absolutely do.
Well, just a couple more stats on that acquisition. It's interesting with the 78% of the population now, because ADESA is a part of the ability to get vehicles to customers potentially, because they're holding houses now for Carvana, will be within 100 miles of a Carvana inspection or reconditioning center, right? So they expanded their network, and you just said, like, a reconditioning center. And there are a lot of big dealer groups. We got Lithia, Asbury, dealer groups like that are thinking about, how can I be closer to the customer? Yeah. And I think, for you're in a single rooftop, you're like, well, I can't be closer to every single customer, right? But how can you put outposts in your city to be closer to the customer, whether that just be people outposts or potentially, like, I've communicated my buddy, Brad Pascal, who I think I do. Yeah. Well, he and I always talk about, like, what if dealers put up Jiffy Lubes, basically, right?
Becoming independent.
Yeah. Just like throw an independent, 10 miles away from your store. And all of a sudden, it's like, there's another opportunity. I mean, I'm dealing with a service issue right now where it's like, I have to drive 40 miles to get to the 40 minutes to get to the dealer just to handle an issue. And if they were, closer or could do delivery or anything like that, my speed of getting something done would be a lot quicker. So I thought an interesting point to show how they're meeting people where they're at and being close to everyone.
Well,
So
that's absolutely strategic for and I don't think really any of us sitting here right now know what that long play is.
right.
We all speculate, but we really don't yet, right? But we'll see it, and
Yeah.
we'll be challenged by it.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to get a little bit more local with you and specifically with your dealer, since we don't a lot of times get to have dealers actually on the show in the morning. So taking this opportunity to just hear kind of what you're doing in the community. You've got you were texting me a couple nights ago some stuff that you're doing in the community, specifically with law enforcement, and just like leaning into that you as a dealer is not just a sales entity or a service entity, but is actually a part of the community. And actually, I'll say this because Danielle just put it up there for us. Right below me is asodu.com/positivity. If you know of a dealer and you're listening to this and you know of a dealer or a dealer group that's doing something really cool in their community, we want to hear about it, just like the story that we're going to hear from Patrick. But tell us a little bit about how that came about and then what you're doing with local law enforcement.
Well, I'll start by saying I feel like any business in a community that does well because of the community should always give back to the community. And I think a lot of us in the automotive industry do. I do think that there's a good network of dealers who find ways to give back. But our local sheriff's office.
Real quick. That approach I think is really unique, right? Because a lot of times the approach is we're going to go to the community because we need the community. And interestingly enough, we already have the community because they're the ones giving us business. And actually what it is it's giving back. It's not approaching them to come to us. It's giving back because they're already doing the work of doing business with us, right?
And it's so crazy because if you approach it from the fact of I want to give back because we're successful, because of them, because of the community, that it just keeps cycling back, And we had a unique opportunity. And we have a wonderful Forsyth County Sheriff's Office here. I mean, the sheriff here is wonderful. And last night, we had an opportunity. They had their deputies of the year, and they award 8 different, based on different bureaus. And I won't get into the deep part of it, but they had it was really like a private event for deputies of the year. And we always said, we want to be involved. We want to be involved. So when they approached us, they were like, what do you guys want to do for us this year? And sometimes I'm a little extra, but they said, what do you want to do for us? And, I think they were thinking like we'd get them a gift certificate to the local steakhouse or something like that. But when I start to think about the 280 deputies that we have in this county and the interactions I've had with them they're class acts, they're professional, they care, But so it's crazy that I'm thinking I'm doing this thing for them. So we go and we awarded last night just this dealership in a super private event. We were the only business there represented. There were some state dignitaries and that type of thing there, but we awarded the deputies of the year last night, 8 of them. And I kind of stole a book from the manufacturer's deal. Like we gave them this. I got it. Can I run and grab it? Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, go. Yeah. So from the manufacturer's deal, I think what he's talking about is how dealers win trips by doing certain things, right? Yeah. So what did you do?
This last night, you win an award, Deputy of the Year. They had no idea this was coming, So we gave them, just like a manufacturer does, there's a letter from me and Mr. Beaver and Mrs. Beaver, thanking them for what they do in the community. And then they were given this deal that it's 6 different trips: couples trip, family trips, Disney vacation, trip to Bahamas, the Ritz at Lake Oconee, a cruise, a Royal Caribbean, and they get to choose one of these, all paid for by us, spending cash, the whole deal. So picture 8 deputies getting.
So if you can't see it, if you're listening to the podcast, it's like a mini suitcase, like maybe the size of someone's head, right? You open it up and it's got all these like trips and the descriptions and the letter right there. It's a really fun presentation, but also you win a trip inside.
It's so cool. It was so cool. And, and I thought, man, look what this is great to do for them. But then when I sat there, Kyle, last night, and I listened to the stories that the sheriff was telling of, the life-saving stories and the awards that were given for these amazing things. And I realized, man, these guys and gals, they put on their uniforms just like we do. And then they go out there and they take and we go out and we take ups and they go out and save lives. Like these people, it's just amazing. And now what was crazy is all their spouses were there too. And I realized, and now the business side of it is like, gosh, we don't do this for business. We just don't. But what we do it for is to help people. But there is a reciprocal deal that comes that there's 400 people there last night
Right.
that were thankful for Beaver Toyota. And it was a really special moment. And then I realized that as a successful business, we got to do more. We just got to do more for the community. And we never really have to leave our backyard if we're doing all those things. Anyway, I could go on for days, dude. But
no, and this is what I love about that, right? Is that you not just had the opportunity to serve them, but also a really unique opportunity, not sitting in the dealership, not working a deal, because we all know like the small talk happens, and maybe you have a service member or a law enforcement member or a doctor or something like that sit there and you get to know them a little bit, right? But you're out of the dealership element and you're able to listen and you're starting to hear stories. And so you're getting context for a whole nother realm of business or a whole nother a part of your community that you now have the opportunity to serve in an even greater way because you understand the context in which they're coming from. And I think that, you know, for us and for Paul and I, the idea of being human in business is so important. And what you did is not just, you know, and what so many dealers do is not just, you know, give a hand up or a handout or, you know, pay away for something or try and gain additional business, but the ability to actually humanize the store within the community is so much more impactful to the community and to the business than any dollar amount could ever bring to it. So,
well, I was able to get up there, Kyle, and just sit there and say thank you, right? Because I told him, I said, there's a difference between being safe and feeling safe. And the being safe, you know, the crime stats and all that stuff tell us that our county's safe. But it's the people that were in that room that night that make my wife feel safe. And that, to me, as a man and a family man with 4 kids, there's nothing more important or comforting than knowing that your family feels safe. And those people do that, and they deserve the thank yous for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I couldn't think of any other way to lead out on this episode, but to be thankful for your community, lean into your community as successful businesses, give back to the people that are making your business successful, and go champion someone today.